So I just finished an amazing workshop, had an amazing group of people, and just loved every second of it. But what was really unique about this workshop, or somewhat unique about it, was it was not recorded. And I know nowadays it feels like every virtual meeting and workshop and webinar and everything is recorded, and there's an expectation that it's recorded and that we can just watch it later. And I think that says a lot about how we use that time in those virtual events. Because if it's a webinar and it's just a talking head, then sure, I'm going to watch the replay and I'm going to put it on 2x speed and I'm going to listen to it, faster and whatever, if I actually listen to it, because we've all done it. We've all registered for things, and then best intentions, we really wanted to go, maybe it was something we were interested in, and then we get the link for the replay, and then it just sits in the mailbox or it gets deleted or forgotten or whatever, right? So the workshop I was running was different in that regard, that it was not recorded. It was intentionally not recorded because this wasn't something where I was just going to be giving people a lot of information and maybe they needed to refer back to it to, learn something or whatever. This was a workshop that was really a chance for people to reflect, look at their own thinking, make some decisions about what they wanted to do in the coming year, and that did not need to be recorded. What it needed was a safe space for people to interact. And these were people primarily who did not know one another. I think a few of them had met prior, a couple of them knew each other because it was set up in a way that they were invited to bring a friend if they wanted to. Um, but overall, this was a group of strangers, I can say. They did not know each other or did not know much about each other. They all came from similar work. Most of them came from similar work backgrounds, so they had some commonalities. But that was really it. This was a group of people, and they came together, and in less than 90 minutes time, using just the technology to connect us, a piece of paper, and something to write with, they went from knowing nothing about one another to having some very deep and meaningful conversations and leaving with some things they could actually go and do and work on. And I'm looking forward to hearing their updates because we will have some updates coming. But watching what happened. Now, obviously, I couldn't A/B test that and go, well, this group we're going to record and this group we're not going to record and see what the difference is. I couldn't do that. But I've done enough recorded sessions versus enough non-recorded sessions to see the difference. And so, while it may not be a scientific study, I can tell you that, and this is, I don't think I have to, I think this is kind of common sense. Not having everybody recorded created a safer, more open, relaxed environment. They also were put into breakout rooms at times, which again, that's a whole another issue with people who record workshops that have breakout sessions, and what do you do with that in between time? Um, but I just encourage people to really think about the intention. There are obviously things that need to be recorded. I want things to be recorded to be inclusive. I don't want people to not have access to learning opportunities. I understand there's reasons to record certain meetings, but there's also value to letting people just think out loud. And every word does not need to be captured for posterity, and doesn't need to have somebody looking in at it later who wasn't part of the conversation and wasn't part of the experience. So just encourage people as we're heading into a new year soon to think intentionally about how you're using the technology, and does everything necessarily need to be recorded? Or are there times where we want to use the technology just as the vehicle to connect us because we can't physically be in the same space. We certainly don't record every conversation we have passing each other in the hallway at an office or, bumping into each other at the coffee shop. We don't record all of that. And so I just encourage people to think about that, especially now with everything being AI. It got me thinking that it feels a little bit like we spent a long time talking about shifting both in learning and in business and elsewhere from content centric uh, to a more human centric, learner centric, user centric, whatever noun is appropriate for your space. We kind of had that conversation and we made a lot of progress getting there, but a lot of it was still kind of lingering in that sort of content world. Uh, and now we're just jumping right over it into AI centric. And yeah, the AI is going to just summarize everything, and we don't have to actually go to the thing because our little AI friend is going to go and figure it all out for us and just tell us what we needed to know about it. And we don't get the experience of actually going through the process of learning something or having the conversation and really thinking through why you know why somebody thinks something or making decisions a certain way. And so I just encourage us to think about that we're not jumping right over the human in the middle. And in the coming year, well, a few months ago, I did a keynote, and the title of it was Remembering the Human. And I think that's kind of a theme that I'm going to probably be mentioning to a lot of people in the coming year as I see, as I said, everybody. AI is super important for people to be paying attention to and learning what they can about it and using it in productive ways. But all the while, let's just remember why we're using the tools we're using and use them intentionally and remember the humans and, reach out and say hi to somebody today. Like just say hi to them. Don't record it.